three examples of cybersecurity tools. So you have a good collection of cybersecurity tools. However, remember what I said, if you remember only one thing from today, what was it? This is a quiz. What was it? Say it with me. A collection of cybersecurity tools does not a cybersecurity program make. There's more to it than that. So what we're missing there is where are the risks? And I don't know this company, to Cody's point that he just made, you have to know the company because every company's assets are different. Therefore, every company's risks are different. And so what they really need is to enter the contest that Connie put together, and hopefully they win a free baseline cyber risk assessment, $6,000 value. I'm a pretty good pitch man.
Bam.
$6,000 value from Trava Security, because that's what, all kidding aside, that's what they need. They need a baseline cyber risk assessment to discover and uncover where their cyber risks really are, and then mitigate those in an organized fashion.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's the equivalent of going to Google when you have like, a cough. You're gonna find a lot of bad things can happen, and and you can go down some dark holes, and so some dark places, and so like, yeah, what we're saying is it's a very expensive, or it can be a very expensive area. So like, to save yourself some headache, some time, some money,
Wasted money.
Yeah, I would agree.
Ben, what do you think about that?
I'm sorry, Jim, I didn't hear the question. Can you repeat it
Well,
for the microphone?
okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I should have repeated it. Sorry. So there was a question that came in, and it said they had, I think, about 3 different tools. They had some antivirus, they had some endpoint detection, and maybe one other thing. And it's like, okay, that they want to move forward from there. What would you suggest?
Yes. So first, I'll plus one what Jim, you and Cody both said, and then I have some anecdotes. So yeah, before you rush out to a solution, it's really important to figure out what kind of gaps you're plugging, what the size and scope of the risk is, depending on your company. As you said, Jim, what type of assets do you have? What's the sensitivity of your information? What are really the points of failure, and what would happen in the case that something occurred at that point of failure? And I know that one of the things that a year ago, when I was going through this kind of pea soup of acronyms and trying to figure out what tools even existed in the cybersecurity space, I ended up being one of these customers or prospective customers that people hate to get, because I was just hopping on the phone with everybody, and I was like, okay, so tell me what your product is, and should I be buying it? And then I would be disqualified because I figured out that I was, like talking to some sort of enterprise solution that only sells 1,000 seats at a time, for an on-prem network. And I'm like, okay, so we're a distributed company with 14 people. I probably shouldn't be trying to buy this, software solution. And that's what can happen if you go out and try to find tools before knowing what you're trying to solve. You end up wasting a lot of people's time and getting frustrated. So yes to all of the kind of do your risk assessment first, and then also I want to say this is a complicated space, but it is not impenetrable. Like, the reasons that we have these programs, the reasons that there are best practices are logical. So there's always the need to use critical thinking and apply it to your individual business case. So there's lots of worksheets, there's lots of things like that. But at the end of the day, different companies are going to have different risk profiles and need to think about the appropriate means for applying solutions to their use case.
Yeah, I would say I totally agree, because I mean, in kind of like, summary of those things, these are tactical responses to a strategic initiative, and so there's umpteen thousand different choices, but again, if you don't have the initiative, then the tactical response is
right.
You don't know if you're hitting your target or not.
And I thought that was just a brilliant example. Thanks for bringing it up. And I think you probably hit on a second, maybe more important, key takeaway from this whole day, and that is that no two risk profiles are identical. You know, I think it's too easy, to your point about going on Google and finding some list of, here are the 8 tools you should buy to be secure. And it's like, that's probably right for company X, but not company Y, right? And so that's very, very important, is the idea that you can do a do-it-yourself cybersecurity program by, you know, following someone else's example. Even if they did this is an example. Let's say they did it right. They did a risk assessment first, and they ended up with this great solution and these collection tools. There's no way that means that's appropriate for your company.
It's like having the same workout plan as the NBA player for myself. It's not a good fit.
Or me and an NBA player.
Did it customized.